Hi, welcome to my garden again, and today's a special day. We're going to look at actually building my family grid back together. I think I've told you before that we'd moved and all my stuff kind of got cratered into one place, and I'm slowly but surely pulling out and finding all the pieces. And one of the things that we had put together was my family grid. And this is the grid that I built in early March in 2019 just to see if grids worked, and it worked very well. So I'm going to have you go through the steps in the process that I go through in rebuilding this grid. Now, I'm rebuilding this one because I like the energy it had. I liked how it worked for us. It worked for me. It worked for my friends. It helped some of them get new jobs. It helped some of them get jobs. It helped some of them have opportunities that they chose to not take. Some got brand new opportunities that they had no idea was in mind before we put the grid up. That was like the first 2 or 3 months it was up. So anyway, we're going to talk about how the stones are placed, why I've picked the stones I've chosen, and kind of their meaning. And these are not definitive meanings in that this is, if it's an obsidian, it's this. There's a lot of ways obsidian can be used. It's how I'm using it in this particular grid. So anyway, I'm going to take you down and let you see what we're looking at. This is called a solar year grid because it has the 12 points on it. I like to work with it because it has the 12 points. It's easy to divide by 4s or 6s or 2s or whatever else. These are all the crystals that I'm going to have to consider to use to build this grid. When I originally built this grid, I used the Selenite tower right here in the middle. And selenite is the white selenite, clarifies confusion. It helps draw in clear energy. It was, at the time, I didn't know if this thing worked, so I wanted to clarify that confusion. But since I've already done that in this grid once, so I'm going to change it to an obsidian pyramid. It's a nice pyramid. It's been, all these stones, by the way, were washed today or cleansed or smoked. But I put smoked. I put Palo Santo around them to get them cleared for this grid. So this is my center stone. I've never built a grid that didn't have a center stone. It sort of, to me, is the entry place. It's where I begin to see the energy flowing in. Then the next part I needed to look at was my cardinal points, north, south, east, and west. So I put a piece of hematite in here, and hematite balances the etheric and the physical body. I used 2 more pieces of obsidian, but this is a very special kind of obsidian. I don't know if you can see it, but it looks like there's a wood grain in it. It's called mahogany. It looks like it's got mahogany in the stone. It's a very special kind of grounding but nurturing kind of obsidian. And then at the very top, I'm putting ruby Fuchsite. And ruby Fuchsite is a perfect combination for love, fertility, positive growth. The contrasting colors and the density of the stone show all the variability of what could be going on in this thing. And so I thought it just really was a wonderful symbol of unity and togetherness and lasting bonds, which I thought was good for this grid. Then my next choice was, what else I'm going to put in these 4 spaces. And what I decided on was green Aventurine. And green Aventurine is a stone for luck, a stone to bring new ideas and new changes towards you. And as you see, I'm building these in 4s because these are the base of what I'm doing. 1s, 3, 5s, 7, and 9s are action-y sort of numbers. Base numbers are the 2, 4, 6, and 8. And in this case, I'm using the 2, 4, 6, and 8 because I wanted something that's going to create a foundation. Then the next crystal that I'm going to use is it's the pyrite, and I'm using it in 4s also. Pyrite can look like this. It's very shiny. It's fool's gold. I mean, that's why people thought it was gold. You can also find pyrite in nuggets like this. But I think for my grid, I'm going to put the pyrite in these to be the prosperity and the gold that I want, however that is represented in these with the Aventurine, it's to balance with them. Then I'm going to put a stone I talk about quite a bit. It's called citrine. Citrine can be a lot of different colors, but I'm using the yellow citrine, and it's for prosperity also. It's that's what I want. I mean, this is what we're doing. The intention is for this to help us grow and bring in abundance and prosperity. And when I first set this grid up, the first thing that I had happen that I knew made it different and special was I opened up my emails the next day and I had one a free astrology reading from NH Astrologer, Dorothy Morgan, she's on YouTube. Go look at her stuff. She's really good. And apparently once a month she goes through and she picks through the new names that have shown up on her email list, and she just draws one. And so she drew my name, and I was like, well, can I ask you when you drew my name? And she'd drawn my name just a couple of hours after I had set this grid up. So, and that's a prosperity. It was a lovely reading. I didn't have to pay for, and I learned a lot from it. She did a progress chart because I had studied enough astrology to understand my own natal chart. What I'm putting in now is called blue kyanite, and I'm going to put it in here kind of where it fits. Unfortunately, when I was checking my stones, I had lost a piece of my kyanite in the move. I don't know where it went. As you can see, it's not very big. So I'm going to put, instead of the kyanite, to connect this outer ring right here, I'm going to put a little bitty sliver of quartz. But blue kyanite's an interesting stone. Doesn't need to be cleaned. And you wouldn't want to put it in water anyway. It doesn't like water much. But it's self-cleansing. So it is also helping these stones, these crystals, stay cleansed. And there is my family's prosperity grid that I put together in March of 2019. Had some absolutely wonderful things grow from it. You'll notice there's other stones left over here. I have a wonderful amethyst obelisk, which I'm going to put on here. It is actually not officially part of the grid, but it's a gift from a dear friend of mine, and I'm going to put this heart on this to symbolize that this has to do with the love and with my family, and that's a jade heart. They're all crystals. Now, you've built the grid. You've written whatever intentions you want to put beneath it. Now what do? Well, first of all, start off by putting your hand over the center stone and acknowledging it, that's where you want the energy to come in from. And then this is the top to me because I can't flip my camera. It gets too confusing. So this is the top. So you start at the center stone, the unifying stone, and you go out and you tap, and then you tap this stone. Then you tap and you tap this stone. Then you tap and you tap this stone. Then you tap and you tap this stone. So I've combined the Aventurines. Now I start on the pyrites. And I combine the energy of the pyrites. Then I go out to my cardinal stones. I go to my hematite. I go to my mahogany obsidian. I go to my ruby fuchsite. That's a hard word for me to say. And then I go to my mahogany obsidian, and I go around and unify those stones. Now I go to my citrines, and I go around and I bless each and every one of them, and I ask them to unite their energy with the other stones to help with my intention. And then I go around there, and then I come back into the inner circle, and I go back to the center. I go out to that circle one more time, go to there, come back out to the main circle, And I keep going around it, and you'll feel it when it's done. You'll feel when the energy of all those stones have been united with your wand. And when you put your hand over it, it's going to feel warm. And that means you've fired up your grid. It's not that complicated. Now, I use a lot of keywords. There's a lot of other definitions for hematite and a lot of other words for ruby fuchsite, and there's a lot of other words for pyrite. There's a lot of other meanings that are attached to them. You try to pick stones that relate to the meanings of what you're trying to accomplish, and you try and make it be cohesive for you. So like I said, this is a real quick fix. And I have some workmen outside my house dragging a ladder, I think. Anyway, I had a request last night from someone to pull a card for 2021, just sort of a universal card, see where things are going for us. And I got the 8 of crystals, which I thought was perfect because of what we're talking about. But the 8 of crystals is a figure skater making a figure 8 on the ice. And the precision of a figure skater is inspiring to watch. The time and practice that must be devoted to a sport are apparent when one sees the grace for my Lord. Anyway, I'm going to cut to the chase because that noise is making me nuts. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's making me crazy. The child skater in this card is creating the ancient symbol of infinity, often drawn as a double-coiled serpent. In the 8 of crystals, this pattern represents the infinite potential of the human being. When this card appears in your reading, look into the deeper realms of your life and discover the gifts you can share with the world. Allow your hidden skills and creative abilities to manifest. I think that's really important for us. This card represents that we're going into a deeper realm of our lives to discover the other gifts we can share with others in our world. Allow those hidden skills and creative abilities to fully manifest. That's what 2021 is going to be. It's going to be a year to come out of ourselves. And I'm sorry about the noise outside. I really can't do anything about it. I don't own the building. My son does. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the bottom. And, oh, I almost forgot. To help you manifest in some things for yourself. I think if you watched the other day, and you can go back and see it if you didn't see it, I painted 8 stones. And you put the 8 stones, mound them up like a little mountain to the right of your front door. So if you're looking at your front door, when you're looking at the front door, that's the right you want, the right that's there. You stack them up. And you just say, okay, prosperity, here's the rocks. I'm directing you to where you need to come. I painted these to show people how easy it is, how you don't have to buy a lot of elaborate crystals or a frame or figure out how to print a grid. And so I'm going to give those away, but only for people who watch this show today and put 8 stones. Just put 8 stones. Don't tell me about, I mean, if it's important, you can tell me about your grandmother and whatever else is going on in your life. But if you just want the stones, put 8 stones. And I will pick through and find the name of the person and draw a name and make sure that I get it to you. I'll announce who it is, and you're going to have to probably get back to me with an email because I'm not sure you want to put your email publicly on my site. Not that there's anything wrong with my site, but anyway, just let you know. And I'm going to be on today at 5:30, I think. I'm going to be on with Celtic Sheila's Tarot, and I'm going to offer her audience the same gift. So just to let you know. But anyway, I'm sitting here looking at these stones. I'm really trying to clean my office up and get my act together and get my stuff organized. So please, please like and share, and please comment that you want the stones so that I can get rid of them. Thank you. Help me. Anyway, that's kind of it for the day. Remember, it's our time to share our own hidden inner gifts. And you have a wonderful day. I'm not sure I'm going to be recording tomorrow because I have 16 grids they're all planned. I've got them all mapped out, but I have to glue them all down, and that takes a while. So I may not be up tomorrow, but I will be up the next day with another show for you. Thank you so much for being in my garden and helping it grow. I look forward to hearing from you, and look forward to helping someone else get a little mountain of gold outside their front door. Thank you. You have a good day.